All right, looks like we're live. We're talking about the Warriors right now. Golden State Warriors have signed Nemanja Bjelica and Otto Porter. Let's talk about it. So welcome. We're talking about the Warriors right now in this quick live stream breakdown of the Warriors acquisitions, or signings, I should say, of both Otto Porter and Nemanja Bjelica. First, before I get started, feel free to subscribe to the channel. We're doing a lot of NBA content over here, so feel free to subscribe to the channel, like, comment on the video. I'll always kind of have a little back and forth with some comments, and yeah, again, subscribe if you want more NBA content. We're talking about free agency, trades, and then also the summer league as it comes up. But let's get started on the Warriors. So the Warriors have officially signed both Otto Porter and Nemanja Bjelica. Now, keep in mind that the Warriors are very much over the luxury, very much into the luxury tax. So they have the 4 big contracts with Steph, Clay, Wiggins, and Draymond Green. Now, the interesting thing that what Golden State could do, or with these signings that Golden State has accomplished, is that they have signed these guys for the minimum deal. Otto Porter was a guy who I thought was going to try to get a little bit more money. Now, he made a lot of money in Washington / Chicago / Orlando. He made a good amount of money that he's probably overpaid. He definitely was overpaid for. But his new contract here, he's just taking the veteran minimum to go to Golden State. So it's interesting. Otto Porter was recently thought to be a guy that the Nets were targeting, and that was leaning towards signing with the Brooklyn Nets. But he ultimately decides on the Golden State Warriors, and he is now signed with them. The interesting thing about Otto Porter that I want to point out is that again, he could have gotten more money elsewhere, but he's a good talent for this team. He plays defense, and he provides a presence that is a long defender, a guy who can hit some threes, and doesn't necessarily need the ball in his hands all the time. I think he's a very good complementary player for this team, and somebody that can maybe be a mentor to a guy like Moses Moody, to Jonathan Kuminga. So I like the pickup there for the Warriors. Now, they understand 3-point shooting is kind of where the league is going. If you haven't caught up, you need to catch up, because you can end up like the Spurs and be in a really bad situation where none of your stars are shooting threes and you just are one of the worst offenses in the league. Golden State understands they're top 10 in both effective field goal percentage on the offensive end and in effective field goal percentage for their opponent. So their defense is always really good, and Kerr has made sure that they're not going to give up a whole lot of threes. They're going to play solid defense and play the numbers game and say, we're going to force you to take tough twos as opposed to taking open threes or shots at the basket. So I think Porter helps that, definitely. He's a guy that I definitely was thinking that was going to get potentially bought out of Orlando last year after he was moved from Chicago to Orlando in the Nikola Vucevic deal. I was a little surprised to see him stay with Orlando. I thought he could have gotten bought out and gotten to another team. But he's a dude I value a lot. Top 3 pick, long, again, relatively athletic, plays defense, is a smart player. I like Otto Porter a lot. Next, we're going to talk about Nemanja Bjelica. So Bjelica definitely has some issues on the defensive end. He's not really a defensive player at all, but he does provide floor spacing. He does provide a guy who's a stretch 4. Maybe you throw in a small ball lineup there with him at the 5. But Bjelica is definitely a dude who can shoot the 3. Do I expect he's going to get like major minutes with the Warriors? No, because they have guys that they like. They might try to play Wiseman a little bit this season. They like Poole, they like Mulder, they like Juan Toscano Anderson. So there are guys on the team that I think will, and then obviously they have these 2 rookies. So I don't expect like Bjelica's presence on the team to be huge, but I do think he's a solid stretch 4 that most teams like to have on their roster. I think with Bjelica, let me look this up really quickly, because I want to definitely see that. So he's 6'10", so that probably gets away with this with a small ball 5 option in the NBA. So yeah, definitely can he provide a small ball 5 option? Can he get some rebounds? I think he's a really solid passer too. So I'd like Nemanja for this team, and I think the Warriors have shown this this, I guess, recent behavior, or this trend that they show with their free agents. They like guys who are smart basketball players. They like guys who are tough. They like guys who can shoot. So, and I think that's obviously like what every NBA team likes, but they really target that when they go and get guys. So I like these pickups for them. I think they're really solid, and something that Golden State will love to have during the regular season. My personal thoughts on how the Warriors are doing now. The Kelly Oubre situation is interesting because is Oubre a potential sign and trade somewhere? I don't know if they can. I don't really know if they can sign and trade when they're like way over the luxury tax, and their payroll is as high as it is. So that's a little interesting to see if that happens. However, they're probably going to lose Oubre. And other than that, they're not going to lose guys that were key dudes in their rotation towards the end of the season last year. Now, Oubre kind of had a rough start to the year. Then he got hurt, didn't play in the play-in game. Maybe would have made a difference in that Lakers game in the play-in. But, I'm just really interested to see Kelly Oubre where he could potentially go, because they're going to lose him. But I do feel like they've made up ground with getting Otto Porter and Nemanja Bjelica, and getting these 2 young draft picks. I think they are able to do something here in Golden State to make them better. I'm not crazy about Kuminga. If you've watched my videos before, I'm not super high on Kuminga. I liked where they got Moses Moody at 14. I think if you swap those picks, A+ draft. But again, they kind of get their guys, and does it really matter where they landed? I personally would not have taken Kuminga at 7, but I think he does provide some upside that you can coach, and maybe he can grow into a role with the team. Ultimately, the Warriors I think they're going to make the playoffs. I think the season really just hinges on Klay Thompson, and does he come back in good form? Is he 70-80% of what he was? I'm really worried just about when you have these lower extremity injuries. He tore his ACL, and then I think, I can't remember exactly what his injuries were. I know he tore his ACL in the finals a couple years back, but if he continues to get injured, I think it was the Achilles, was it? So I worry, like, is he going to come back? He's probably going to have limited minutes and be on minutes restrictions. So I do worry a little bit there. But if he can just be a solid piece and be efficient, the Warriors, I think, can really be a team that can be good next year. They will have to maximize these young guys and get the most out of these recent signings. But look, some players still want to go to Golden State. They still believe in Golden State. So I think the Warriors are in a good spot right now. I like the moves that they have made, and excited to kind of see how they play next year after Curry had a great season this year. Does he drop off a little bit? Draymond dropped off at the beginning of last season a little bit, but then came and played really good towards the last half of the season. So do the Warriors kind of follow that same pathway of, maybe they start slow, but then they get a lot better? We'll see. But I like what the Warriors are doing. I know that there were some other free agents that went to the Lakers and the Nets that they wanted, and they do lose out on, Bazemore? So a little bit of a loss there, but again, I think they're doing what they can to make up for it. But look, these veterans want to go to Brooklyn. They want to go to LA. Like, they got to figure something out. But the Warriors, I don't blame them for not having veterans flock to them, because do you really look at this team and say, yes, this is a championship winning team? I don't know. So I think the free agents understand that as well, and they're a little hesitant to go there. But anyway, that's my video on the Warriors. Let's pull this up here. Yeah, so that's the video on the Warriors, and again, subscribe to the channel. We're doing a lot more videos. I need to make a video on Spencer Dinwiddie and the Suns and what they have done, along with, what was the last one? Yeah, I just need to make 2 videos on those. I might hold off on those just to wait to kind of see if there's any other moves with Washington, because there's potential that Kuzma could be dealt, or Montrez, or something could happen there. But yeah, so I'm excited to bring this stuff to you guys. Again, subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment in the comment section as well. And we're, like I said, providing as much NBA content as we can, and trying to provide as good a quality as we can as well. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in the next video.